Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another Carolina Retirement Planners Presents Happy Half Hour. We're coming to you live every Thursday at 4:30 on your Facebook page. And if you haven't been here before, I'm Sam Shukavage. With me is the president and founder of Carolina Retirement Planners, David
Me.
Shukavage, and my father. Say hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. That's getting
And
old. Yeah,
oh,
probably.
whatever. And
That
behind
never gets
the
old.
scenes, making all the magic happen is Amy Dresky.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi. How are you guys?
good. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Yes.
Everybody's doing well today.
Yeah.
And if y'all haven't been here before, you know that we cannot see you unless you say something in the chat. So feel free to say hi. Tell us what beverage you're enjoying while you watch this, and yeah, feel free to give us a little bit of a wave. And Dad, what are we talking about this week?
Well, today we are talking about something that for most of you out there is going to be better than a 529 plan. I promise you. When you see the comparison, you're going to say, I got to have that. So that's what we're talking.
Well, excellent. 529 plans helping the kids and grandkids with college. And something else that we like to do every week is talk about what day it is. So Amy, what day is it today?
Ooh, today is a good one. Yes, I selected today in honor of you, David. So today is International Strange Music Day.
Oh man, had I known, I would have brought in maybe an mbira or a zaffoon or a theremin or something to entertain people with, Actually, until it ended, I've got a whole pile of back issues of the Journal of Experimental Musical Instruments, and I built so much stuff out. I did build a theremin from scratch. I got a xylophone made out of glass plates. I have a tubulong, which is sort of a xylophone made out of electrical conduit. It's great for if you got kids. It's indestructible. I did buy a zaffoon, which is sort of a bamboo sax made by a guy, or bought it a lot of time ago, bought by a guy in Maui, sat there making saxes out of bamboo. And then, the mbira is like an African thumb piano. I got 2 or 3 of those, and it goes on and on. So yeah, this is like my day.
I love it. I should have given you a warning. That is my bad. I was like, oh, this is
Much
going
less
to be
the normal, the hammer dulcimer, the auto harp, the penny whistle, the bowed psaltery, the more pedestrian normal instruments.
Yes. But see, like, I know that it's like in honor of like you for this day, but my question today, I had Sam in mind, and I asked everybody to send me like a strange song that they like that, other people might find, a little odd or something along those lines. Because, I feel like Sam and I have some musical interests that are similar, and I'm not even on camera, sorry. But I thought that would be good because I feel like, Sam, that there are some unusual songs that are just great that you have turned me on to, and you'd be able to tell some people of some.
Well, funny enough, the first song that came to mind is one that pretty much everybody knows, but it is my favorite song to play whenever I need to be cheered up. It's like I'm instantly happy. Is Lime in the Coconut by
Yes,
what
I love that song.
Henry Nielsen. It's a silly song. It's a strange song, but I think it is like one of my all-time favorite random songs.
It's a great song.
Put it together with Deo.
Yeah. I mean, I do have like a pretty strange music taste, very varied, strange music taste, but that that was just the first song that came to mind when I read the email. What about you?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
So I grew up with music. I mean, in my house, we grew up, it was always record player and radio, and that was just kind of how we grew up. But I selected the band They Might Be Giants, which a lot of people might not know, but then they do know. So I love their entire first album. And I sent some links, but I think people would know them best by the Malcolm in the Middle song, which is not one of my favorites, but anything
Did they
that
do the Birdhouse in Your Soul?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I
yeah.
love that song.
Right. Oh, I have goosebumps now. I mean, I love them. Whenever I put them on, they make me happy. So reminds me of like high school years and I don't know, being young and all that.
We
So
always have Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, which features the theremin. But
there
we
you go.
better plunge in. It's
There you go.
6 minutes into it. We ought to get going, and we can come back, say hi to folks and all. But I want to make sure we don't we get some meat going before we get into any more fluff. So let's see if I click the right things here. Okay. There we go. So what is better than a 529 plan? Now, most of you probably know 529 plans are a way to save money, tax advantage way to save money for kids when they go to college. And I get a lot of questions from clients, most of whom are grandparents. Hey, I want to put money in a 529 plan for my granddaughter, grandson, or all my grandkids. How do I do it? But I want to explain to you why some of the things when I started researching it in depth, the stuff that's involved that may make you rethink it, especially when I show you the alternative. But let's start with mom and dad. Let's start maybe you when you were younger, but probably your son and daughter. They have a child they want to have go to college, and what they're doing is they're working and they get some wages, and some of that money goes to the tax man. The IRS collects their share. And then they start taking some of the after-tax part that's left and gradually put it into the 529 plan. And they keep contributing, and it grows over those years. It grows over those years. And hey, Sam, as this 529 plan grows, do they have to pay tax on this growth?
No.
And if they take this money out and do they have to pay tax on
it? If they're using it for, qualified, educational expenses per 529 plan rules, they do not have to pay taxes.
Yeah, so where you have something is something I pay the tax on money, I put it in there, it grows tax-free, and I can take it out tax-free. It's starting to sound like something else, but I got a lot of restrictions on this, more than you may know. And so I started digging away. I did this about a year ago, so some of the numbers may have changed, but there are some things that are qualified. Some things, these are in fact the yes things, and they include things like tuition and fees, books, computers, special needs equipment, room and board if the student is enrolled at least half-time, and you can use it now up to 10,000, but there's a limit for kindergarten through 12. Maybe they're going to a private school, and you can use some of it to pay back the loan repayments, although I think it's only on the principal, not on the growth. But then there's some no's. There's things that you can't use it for, and they include applying for college and getting all those testing fees, driving there, getting to college, to either transportation, health insurance. If they're doing extracurricular activities, they can't use it for those. And some other things. So you got yeses and nos, and you got to pay attention to that. Now, here we have when you put your money in a 529 plan, it goes into each state has their own 529 plan, At least last year, the only one that didn't was Wyoming, and some have a couple of them. And they will report to you things here on Form 1099Q. Now, I want to go into this, not to be boring, because I find some of it very funny. This is how the instructions go. And what they're talking in the instructions is about this box 1. And they say to determine the earnings or loss on the gross distribution reported in box 1, use the earnings ratio described in proposed regulation section 1529-3. Notice, and this can be found, this is in notice 2001-81 and notice 2016-13. And you can find 2001-81 on page 617 of Internal Revenue Service Bulletin 2001-52. And they conveniently give you a link to sort through the 617 pages. So it's starting to sound pretty complicated. I get this thing from every year from my 529 plan holder, and I gotta do all these calculations.
That seems like a lot of reading.
It's like, well, we haven't just begun. Forbes last year had this article on the mistakes that you believe. I think it might have been the take 10 mistakes. I picked some of them. And one of the mistakes is believing that this 1099Q amount must be reported on your tax return. In fact, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If none of the withdrawals are taxable, more on the determination below, nothing needs to be shown. You might be thinking that you have to put it there, but you don't. You're not supposed to put it there. And it gets even better. They send this form to you, but they might start sending it to your grandchild once they start collecting. That adds another complication. And the 529 plan that does this, they warn you to check that that on Form 1099Q that reads, there's a checkbox that reads, if the recipient is not a designated beneficiary, they check that. If by chance they check that and in fact they're wrong, then the IRS starts sending you deficiency notices. So, okay, another thing I got to start worrying about is, did I fill it out right? Do I have deficiency notices? Do I put that on my thing? Do I not? Another mistake is relying on yet another form, which is Form 1098-T. It turns out that the school that your grandchild is going to sends out Form 1098-T to report the tuition and related expenses either paid or billed during the year. So they send you this form. And you might think, well, this is good. I can use this to report my 529, what I spent and how much of it is tax-free. And Forbes says this form is basically worthless and in fact can be misleading. What you want to use instead, of course, is your own checkbook, your electronic receipts, the student account records maintained at the school, and add those all up. Well, you buy, of course, as a grandparent with all your grandchildren, you've been taking copious and careful records of all the things you did, right? Yourself, because that's what you need to document this.
No.
It gets even more fun if your child is, like many of us probably did, somewhere in our 4 years, we moved off campus. I was in the dorm for 2 years, and boy, then I kind of left. And the amount you can deduct for that is capped, and you're only allowed to deduct a percentage. And this is what the school they're going to reports as the cost of attendance for that particular college. And so you got to go to the school and say, how much can I deduct for this off-site? Because if you deduct too much, guess what happens? We'll get that in a minute. And so, boy, another thing I got to worry about, they're living off campus. How much can how much can I deduct? And do I have the records for that too, right? It gets even more fun. Like, let's say part way through that year, they leave. They decided for whatever, they switch schools, they leave. Well, they're going to send you a refund, right? And that refund comes back to you, and you've got to report it all correctly and kind of try to get it back into that fund, because if you don't, well, you got to pay tax on that refund and pay a 10% penalty on that refund. However, there is a potential way to get around it, and that is mistake number, if you did get this bump for this refund, there is an IRS form 5329. You can fill it out and kind of characterize that it wasn't a mistake and I shouldn't be penalized for this money. And just for kicks, this is part of the form. This is section 1. This is section 2. This is part 3. If you read the rest of it, there's part 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 that you need to do to fill out this form. Something I'm sure every retiree is looking forward to doing. Now, when you save the money, you have to save it in a 529 plan. And again, each state has a plan, and except for, I think, Wyoming. But this is the one for North Carolina. And if you count them up, there's 9 strategies you can put money in. And you've got to manage it in these strategies. And maybe it's not really the strategies you want, or better strategies, but you're limited to what you can put it in. And now you have to go off and manage this amount in this 529 plan. So it gets more interesting. Let's say you've set this up for a grandchild and get the right thing here, and you die, what happens? Well, it probably passes to your grandchild, who is the beneficiary listed on this 529 plan. 529 plans have beneficiaries. Some states allow for a contingent owner. So, you got to figure out who's your best choice for a contingent owner if you're in that state. And if you pass, let's say when Billy was 2, you set this 529 plan up for him, and you pass away when he turns 18. And let's just say, for whatever reason, he's not really college material. Maybe he's developed a drug problem, I don't know. But now he has access to this whole plan. It's his money. And you can only have one beneficiary per account. So let's say you have 5 grandkids. You probably have to set up 5 different plans. And remember all the paperwork we just talked about? Now you got to keep those files for each one, where they were, how much they're spending off campus, what they spent that was good, what they spent that was bad. Starting to sound like, boy, I wish there was something better than this that I could use for to get my grandchildren to college. By the way, one last thing is, when you put money in the plan, it is considered a gift. Now, you can put as much as you want in the plan, but last year it was 16. This year it's, I think, 17. Is it 17 this year, Sam? What's the
Correct.
gift limit? You can give 17,000 to your grandchild this year with no extra paperwork. If you put in more, you got to file Form 709 and take it over out of your $13 million lifetime exemption. So more paperwork to do. Now, gets even better. Let's say you want the money back. Jimmy he joined the military, and he's now a lieutenant in the Navy or something, and he doesn't need it. And you say, honey, we put $25,000 into this 529 plan for Jimmy. It grew another 25,000. So there's now 50,000 in here, and half of it is this taxable amount. we say, honey, he doesn't need it. Well, why don't we just take the 25,000 we've already paid the tax in and have fun? Let's take that vacation, that cruise in Europe that we always talked about. Well, guess what? You can't just take the part you pay tax on. If you go and spend this, they split it like this, and you get half of your tax-free amount, but the other half still has tax on it plus a penalty. So trying to get the money back out, still gonna bear some more tax, some more things. So what can we do? Well, here's grandma and grandpa, and most of you worked all your life and you had wages, but you're not working now. But I'm betting almost everybody listening to it took some of their wages and put it in an IRA, or maybe a 401k or a 403b or a TSP, any of those accounts that let you delay the taxes. In fact, I would bet you that if you were doing a 529, you would be taking the money out of your IRA to pay pay the tax on it and put it into that 529 plan. Well, guess what? Let's say that instead of a 529 plan, I went down here and I had started a Roth, and I went down and I put this money in a Roth. I pay the tax here, tax comes out, and the rest goes into the Roth. And in the Roth, that money grows. Now, Sam, in the Roth, do I pay tax on the money as it grows?
No.
Oh, it grows tax-free. If I take it out, do I pay tax on it?
No.
Do I have any restrictions on what I can spend that money when I take it out? I mean, do I have to use it for educational expenses, or is there a bunch of laws limiting me?
You have no restrictions.
Right. So it kind of works just like a 529 plan, except it doesn't have all the restrictions, and I don't have just this limited number of things I can invest it in. I don't have all this extra paperwork. And so if over here I have, say, a group of grandchildren, I can do it a couple of ways. I can say, I'm going to create a big IRA, and if they need money, I will gift them money out of my IRA for their education. If you want to be a little fancier, you could say, well, I'm going to build a Roth IRA for each of them, and I'll designate that as their money. And if they don't need it, they get a scholarship, or they maybe turn out to be not someone that you want to give it to, because we don't know what they'll grow into. We have our best intentions, but you can keep the money for yourself. Take that trip, you're not giving it up. And even more so, you could say, well, what happens if I die? Well, you could do two things. You could leave the money to them if you die, but they may still be too young. So you could leave the money in that account to their parents and tell their parents, look, that money there is intended for your child. And the way the laws have changed, which is sort of interesting, is if you leave money, you die and you leave the money here, the parents have 10 years to take it out. They don't have to take it all out at once. Let's say the child was 12 and they went in there and they put it in there. Well, when 6 years later, they're going to turn 18. And from 18 to 20, they can take this money out tax-free and use it for their education. So it got a lot of advantages. It acts just like a 529. In fact, it's probably using the same IRA money you took out, pay tax on, that you would have put in the 529, but you don't have to do all that stuff I showed you. And I only showed you a few of the pitfalls. So this is kind of like, when I realized this, I said, boy, this is a no-brainer. Someone comes to me now and says, hey, I want a 529 plan for my kid. I said, I got a better idea. So I hope this was helpful. it's something that they don't tell you about, but we're here on our happy half hour and we're telling you. So that's it. If you have questions, you can give us a call at the office. You can go to our website and get in touch with us, or book a 15-minute phone call. Any help we can give you on this, whether you're a client or a visitor here with us today, these are some of the things. Now, Sam, we got one more. We got. What else do we have to do here?
Well, my favorite part of every week is our wine drawing. So we give away 2 bottles of wine delivered directly to your door from Fermental Bottle Shop. Now, Fermental Bottle Shop is fairly newly located in the Cargo District in downtown Wilmington. It's a great place to pop in, grab a beer, grab a glass of wine, or take some home with you. But you don't have to do any of that if you win the wine, because we will ship it right to you. It will be carefully curated to fit your tastes, and not just some cheap wine either. It'll be nice, pretty nice wine. And we would love to send it to you. And to get your name in my jar, all you have to do is each week we send out an email on our listserv to let you know what our topic is that week. And if you respond to that email and let us know what your favorite strange song is, or just say, get me in the wine drawing, we will get you into the drawing. So our winner this week of 2 bottles of wine delivered to their door,
Here's my drum roll.
is Anne and Jeff Y. So congratulations. Y'all are our wine winners this week. To everybody else, please continue to, follow our emails and submit to win the wine. And yeah.
We have a fun topic next week.
Yeah, what is our topic?
Well, you guys won't be here. We're giving you a week off. We're sending you away.
Oh, I won't be here.
Yeah, and you know what, David, I know you will be here, but we're telling you, you don't have to be here. So you know who I'm going to have help me?
I can drink that week during the happy hour.
There you go.
This herbal tea.
I like it. I'm going to bring Sally in. So I'm going to have Sally in, and you know who our guest is going to be? Jonathan, because open enrollment is approaching, and I know people always have questions about that. So it seems like it's a great topic. Is that right?
We've got 2 beautiful.
Well, I just realized that the week that I'm out is the week after next week.
Oh, so maybe
but he'll be here both weeks. So he'll be here both weeks.
Okay, so wait a second. Now, I'm pretty sure I have Jonathan next week. Let me go.
We'll have somebody.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. And if it's Jonathan, it's just.
Oh, yeah. No, and then the week after, I think we have, it's going to be Amber and your dad, and they're doing something about like what to do in a down market. So.
Oh, very exciting.
So you get 2 weeks off? What?
Wow. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what to do with myself.
I don't know either. What is up?
Well, it is our 3rd year anniversary. We get a break,
Yeah, that's good. So, but for the next 2 weeks, everybody gets to meet somebody new. So I think that's kind of fun. So.
Okay. Well, it's been great to see everybody that's been here. Bruce and Teresa and Rick and Mary and Dan and Barb as usual. Drinking pumpkin beer. Oh, come on, and Janet and Dean. So it's great seeing you all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you say hi to Mom? Did you see the moms here?
Hi, Mom. That's your mom. You should say hi to Mom. It's my wife.
You call her Mom too.
My devoted, beautiful, talented, and tolerant wife.
Yes.
I love the moms are here. It's so great.
Yes. Very supportive. We feel very supported.
We are.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
I may or may not see you next week.
Yeah. But Cheers. If you will, that's even better. So, I mean, why not? Yeah. Cheers, everyone.
Have a good week. I hope it eventually cools off.
it's been beautiful mornings. The mornings have been great for walking. So yeah.
Not this weekend, but we'll see y'all later.
All right. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.